Now, mind you, time has passed since SPI saved my life and allowed me to continue to have access to resources, because I did everything in my power to lose the resource and be sent home. So, unfortunately, Generation X to me was the target of the war on drugs. President Ronald Reagan's war on drugs placed a bullseye and target on the back of every black male in Generation X, which I'm a part of. Why do I say that? Because the late 80s was when the war on drugs was announced. Mid to late 80s, let's say. The early 90s was when the war... Now, mind you, when it was announced, there was no drug problem in the United States of America. A war was announced, and then a drug problem was created to war against. So there was no evidence of a problem, not in the African American community. Now, people were using drugs and abusing drugs, but still to this day, you would struggle to prove to me that it's higher in our community than in any other community. And I'd like to see studies. But anyway, so by the time that the mid-90s roll around, now a problem has been created. The crack epidemic has been created and rolled out in every inner city all across the country. Mind you, in the early 90s, the reason I say the target and the bullseye is on Generation X's back and my back and SPI's back is because we were the young men at that time. So who else were they trying to round up and usher into this quadrupling prison industrialized prison industrialized complex? Who were they trying to usher into this prison industrialized complex that the brilliant Michelle Alexander laid out beautifully in her book? So this prison industrialized complex, we were the target. So at 18 and 19, when I dropped down, we are that first wave of people trying to be rounded up. We were the first wave. You know, the surge, they talk about a surge in Afghanistan and Iraq. We were the front line of the surge victims. 1993, 1994, 1995, we was on the front lines. And SPI saved my life and allowed me to continue to have that access. And he lost access. And when he lost access, he went home to LA and sure enough, was ushered right up into the prison industrialized complex. Caught a petty gun charge once he got home. Caught a gun charge again once he got out. So SPI fell victim to the thing that he saved me from. So because of my loyalty and my love for that man, this is what I'm going to do as a lifeguard, because I have resources to what I call the 3% access network. These are individuals who are in the top 3% income earners in this country. There's been a war on drugs, but there's been a war on the poor as well, going simultaneously. And it's funny, it's ironic that you hear presidential candidates say the fundamentals of our economy are strong. Really? Just before the whole economy crashes? That's what you think? The funny part is he was right. Because for those who benefited from the economy crashing, then the fundamentals of the economy are strong. Right? If you're on the top of the top 3% income earners, then yes, the fundamentals of the economy are strong for you. But if you're that bottom 97%, from 2008 to 2012, was the fundamentals of the economy strong for you? During the Great Recession that came in right after those great words were spoken. And thank the Lord that the gentleman uttering the fundamentals of the economy are strong, didn't become president. Because I could only imagine what 2008 to 2012 would have looked like had he become president. Then you have presidential candidates making statements like 47% of the economy, 47% of Americans don't pay taxes. Now listen, I'm called Dr. Lifeguard PhD for a reason. That's because I have a PhD in math. And let me break down the math. Okay? Because after he made the statement, he went on to try and elaborate and say, there's 47% who don't pay taxes. So those are not the ones that I'm interested in. I'm interested in the other 53%. That's not true. That's not true. I'm going to give you the math. All right? This is where the PhD comes in. Listen, here's the math. He's concerned with the top 3%, right? The 47% in the middle that he was referring to are actually all of those small business owners in the United States of America who are chasing the American dream, doing everything in their power, trying to do everything right to have and possess the American dream, who've traded in a ball and chain in a cubicle for a ball and chain in their own sole proprietorship or a small business where they're working more hours than they were in their 9 to 5. But because of the carrot that's dangling in front of them of having the American dream, and because they, like myself, believe